Hello, folks, and welcome to Pokemon Go. Actually, we're in this airport right now, but I'm gonna be heading back home. Sorry for no videos for what I've been doing, but this is gonna be important for the announcements that are gonna be happening. Is just gonna go over some experiences that I've done in Gigantamax battles with Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. And just to cover for both of them, I made a tweet out for Pokemon Go how my thoughts are for those Gigantamax Pokemon went through. So, just based off with no video content around, we didn't make any content for Santa Monica grind to go through with Gigantamax Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. It was pretty late at night, so I forgot my lights, and I couldn't do anything to actually change up my settings to make it more smoother. But I did record the phone on how it went with the Gigantamax Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, and I'll talk about it right in my thoughts on the Twitter. My thoughts on Gigantamax Pokemon is the only way to do these Gigantamax Pokemon is to go to an urban city. And I went to Santa Monica as like an urban city where spoofers and locals usually hit up, because people really hit up at that spot at Santa Monica, and usually Brandon Mystic 7 goes there. Pretty much that really helped a lot. To beat these Gigantamax, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, whether it's with locals and spoofers, unfortunately you have to power them up. So with that said, you have to power up Pokemon to make sure that these Pokemon are at level 40 to beat these Gigantamax Pokemon. That was the downside of this, is powering up, and also beating the Gigantamax Pokemon with Blastoise was the hardest one, because when I was in Santa Monica, I beat Gigantamax Blastoise 2 times. That one was a hard boss to do. Just to explain here, the Gigantamax Charizard is easier to do 10 to 20 people at a time. But when you're battling Gigantamax Venusaur and Blastoise was around 30 to 40 people. And because of their high defense and the look at the Pokemon remainder, which is the time up above the center where you see a cheer button that is going to remain the Pokemon that will survive in that battle. So that's why I've been telling you all that you may have to look out for that Pokemon remainder, because once it hits 0, you're goner. You're an absolute goner. You would have to do this all over again with your counters. And basically, the reason why there was cheers, because cheers will help the Pokemon stay alive and to be able to beat the Gigantamax, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard from that state of time. And also, some people will leave because people don't want to go through the whole timing thing, that when they're at HP red, yes, people are going to leave for that. And that means you got to do this all over again once the Pokemon remains to 0. So that's why we've been reading this when we're about 25 to 30 people in. That's why that's will cause the remainder of Pokemon to leave at around 4 to 5 people. Will be frustrating. So at this point, don't do Gigantamax Pokemon until Niantic officially makes this fix. Now, before you all go crazy saying, hey Film, did you actually read the update? Yes, I did. I got a update quote that was from Joe, and I'll read this to you after we finish up here, is that Niantic needs to nerf the number of people down to 4, and make them remote so that these things will not cause issues, and that way Gigantamax Pokemon will be beaten by 4 people as it was intended as Sword and Shield Dynamax Battles. Now, to talk about this cool update that Niantic just made, they finally followed us up about what went down, so shout out to Landor Alpha for giving us full information of Niantic details. And it's going to be for Gigantamax Gengar to be in its debut and how it's adjusted. So, what it says here is it's official. Niantic is making following adjustments to Gigantamax Gengar in advance to its debut. And then first things first, they're going to be adding the 25k Stardust as a reward for each completed Gigantamax Gengar, which is actually a big, huge thing because Stardust has been a big commodity that we've been using to power up our Pokemon. But well, this time we'll get our Stardust back, which is a big, huge reward compensation that Niantic did a good job on. But just to read it over, we want players to feel like they can quickly gain back the resources they invest into and Gigantamax system and feel like participating is more rewarding. Our intent is to help create a positive cycle when trainers participate in Gigantamax encounters, leading to more. And then second, increasing the catch rate. So we want players to feel rewarded for accomplishing such a huge feat. And now the catch rate didn't match the experience that they intended to. They'll be increasing this for Gengar and will continue to monitor for other Gigantamax encounters, which is a huge plus. This is really good because the catch rate was a little harder on the starters, and like I was catching like 5 to 6 balls and they almost ran, and I was lucky that I got them at 1 to 2 balls. So yeah, this is huge. Lastly, adjusting the difficulty slightly. So that means turning Gigantamax Gengar to encounter easier like other Gigantamax encounters, while they want Gigantamax to be the new high bar for the meaningful challenge in Pokemon Go. We want to make sure that players have a reasonable chance to defeat Gengar. You'll still need to strategize and coordinate with your group and go empowered up to a degree. But we think this tuning will make things slightly easier to help the range of trainers jump into Gigantamax. And that's pretty much about it. Now, just to go over some stuff about this, are Niantic going to nerf Gigantamax Gengar than how the starters with Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur were? Are they going to at least nerf it to 5 to 8 people or 4? Probably. We'll see. I hope this will be a thing because after going through the starters with Gigantamax, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, they were very tanky with 10 to 40 people. And we don't want that to happen with Gigantamax Pokemon. So this, I hope Niantic really did acknowledge these things, but I hope they understand that how we feel as a community, we do feel still upset that remote wasn't changed to be that way. They're keeping it as an in-person Gigantamax, and this will still hurt the rural player community. I know this hasn't been changed yet, and I don't know why Niantic did not change that in the first place to make it remote. So yeah, it's kind of strange to me that Niantic didn't do that for the initial update. So yeah, that's basically the story, battling Gigantamax and how Niantic improved it slightly. And there's some excitement happening, and there's some of them that won't be exciting. So we'll just hope that it's going to be better for when you go with locals and beat Gigantamax Gengar and the rest of the Gigantamaxes. Yes, folks, that's pretty much about it. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. And we'll see you guys for another Pokemon Go. We'll do some Gigantamax on video when I come back home. All right? All right, guys. Laters. Bye.